24 years ago, here in Kampala, in Uganda, Restoration Assembly Church, under the ministry of Bible Faith Restoration Ministries, was started. My name is Frank Butai, the pastor and the founder of this ministry. It is a ministry that God has enabled us to do outreach ministries, discipleship, and skilling the men and the women that God has put in our hands. In the year 2020, the world was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. People lost jobs, lives, loved ones, and many doors were closed and locked. Almost every country in the world instituted a lockdown whereby people were restricted to places, locations. Places of worship were not even spared. For example, in Uganda, we were closed for close to 7 months without congregating. The year 2021 was no different. We continued with on and off lockdowns. The repercussions and the consequences of that was an impact on the domestic life, on the social life, the economic life, the educational life, and many people's lives were changed, not for the good, but mostly for the worse. In our case here in Uganda, in Kampala, and Nakurabi in particular, where our church is located, as a church, we had to be involved in supporting our communities, because as a church ministry, we've been involved in reaching our community through schools, a nursery school, a primary school, and a high school, reaching our communities through skilling, training, community outreaches, and other avenues that the Lord has provided over the years for us to do ministry. So because of the nature of our community, many people lost their jobs, and up to now, many of them have not been able to regain their jobs, and so they have been strained in their responsibilities in meeting their day-to-day needs. That affected the school system because for 2 years, our students were in and out of class, and we resorted to providing pamphlets and papers and books that could only be picked, and a few of our teachers would be available just to go through with some of the students one-on-one and then send them back home. For those 2 years, many of our students then were not promoted to the new classes as they should have been. For example, this year, 2022, we have students that are going to do their final examinations to enter into university. They should have done that last year. Also, that meant that our income was dilapidated. It was completely down. Also, a number of people, because of loss of jobs, opportunities to work, freedom of movement, could not be able to feed and to fend for their families. And so as a ministry, we have been involved in several things that we've been doing. Like I said, we've been involved in relief supply, providing food to different families, different homes, individual people, big congregations, to a point that some of our Sunday morning services have been turned into relief supply, and then people will be encouraged through that. Many students did not have sponsors. We had to take them in order to help them keep on the course of education, hoping that if they get a good education, they'll be able to take care of themselves and their families. But also, we found that a good number of people have needed that small amount of money to push them to be able to go back and do something. Uganda being a third world economy, many people don't have permanent jobs. Many people are involved in buying and selling, dealing in vegetable markets, selling on the streets. After the COVID-19 pandemic had gone down, then the world has been hit with a very difficult economic season where the inflation in Uganda to date has gone out in double digits. That means most of the food stuff people used to buy, if I paid $2 for something before COVID-19, now I need $6 to buy it. The price of gasoline has risen from about $1.50 maybe, or 25 cents, to almost $7 right now. And when the price of gasoline raises, then the price of everything raises. The economic activities that people are involved in have not changed. Matter of fact, many people don't have any economic activity going on in their lives. And therefore, there is a great need for continued support in helping people to put food on their table. There's continued need in supporting school-going children to stay in school. We thank God for those men and women who have been able to stand with us as a ministry. For the last 1 year, we've been building the Restoration High School boarding section. We built 4 floors. We are yet to put the windows and the doors in all floors and electricity in all floors, but we're already using half of the building, even with 25 or maybe 35% done work. We still have a couple of hundreds of students in school who are being supported. But I live and I work and I minister in an area where there are over 300,000 kids, considering the entire metropolitan, who are supposed to be in school. And a big number of them are not in school. Not because they don't want to, but because there are no facilities, because they don't have the resources and the funds to do that. As Restoration Assembly Church, we know, according to Matthew 28, verse 19 and 20, Jesus' great commission to us was, is, and will always be, go ye into the world, make disciples, preach the gospel, teaching them, train up someone so that their social and economic livelihood is transformed. The gospel is a message of transformation. The gospel is a message of change of life, speaking hope to every man and every woman. And therefore, my brothers and sisters, once again, thank you very much for those who have stood in sponsoring a child, for those who have stood with us in sending relief supply, for those who have stood with us in the building of the schools and other facilities here at Restoration Assembly. But also, I want to put it to you that if you start a journey with someone, it is always good to keep with them in that journey, to see them through up to the end. So I pray and I request that you will see it in your heart to continue supporting what we do. We believe that what we do is to preach the gospel, make disciples, who in turn will make other disciples to the glory of God. And God bless you. Amen.